Welcome back everyone, this is GTA Failer. In our last video we tackled the first Cortez mission. It was called Treacherous Swine, where we killed Gonzalez. And this video is all about the next Cortez mission. It is called Mall Shootout. Passing this mission awards $500 and unlocks the next Cortez mission, which is called Guardian Angels, as well as the second Mr. Black mission, assuming you have already completed the first Mr. Black mission. But since we haven't, we won't get the post-mission phone call from Mr. Black telling us to go to the next payphone. Here, Cortez compares us to a pampas breeze. I didn't know the word pampas, so I had to look that up. From Wikipedia, the pampas are fertile South American low grasslands that cover more than 460,000 square miles in Argentina, Uruguay, and a bit of Brazil. This is a little confusing to me because according to the wiki, Juan Cortez is from unknown Central American country, and the pampas exist only in South America. You can see the prominent animal head there on the table, and Cortez offered us some tapir snout. From Wikipedia, tapirs are large herbivorous mammals belonging to the family Tapiridae. They are similar in shape to a pig with a short prehensile nosed trunk. Tapirs inhabit jungle and forest regions of South and Central America and Southeast Asia. I'm a vegetarian now, but even back when I used to eat meat, if somebody put like the head of an animal on the dining room table, like I would think that was disgusting. Like, was Cortez offering Tommy the opportunity to just start like nibbling at this tapir's face? Just gross. Anyway, back to the mission. What we're supposed to do is retrieve some technology, some chips from this French guy. He's on the second floor of the Washington Mall, and this is the mini tutorial saying that the upwards pointing arrow is the indicator that the target is above you. The rain is programmed into this mission so that the courier can deliver this insightful line.
The rain, she's très wet this time of the year.
The courier is French, so I will translate the few French words he uses. Très means very, comment means comment, and d'accord means all right. This is a GTA mission after all, so unsurprisingly things go horribly wrong. There's this group of French soldiers who comes out of nowhere to interrupt this exchange with the French courier. This was all very confusing to me until I started reading about this mission for the purposes of recording this episode. So I'm going to fill you in while we watch my vanilla attempt. We're going to see the French courier escape on one of these fixed PCJs for this mission, and I'm going to chase him down, kill him, retrieve the chips, and bring them back to Colonel Cortez. So while I do all that, let me read from the wiki about the French courier. His name is Pierre Laponce, P-O-N-C-E, maybe it's Ponce. Pierre Laponce is a character who appears as a minor character in Vice City. His name is not explicitly mentioned in the game, but is seen on Vice City's official website. Pierre Laponce is a stereotypically dressed Frenchman. He was a DGSE agent. I'm going to explain that acronym and another acronym coming up real soon. He was a DGSE agent hired by Juan Cortez to steal guidance chips used in French missile technology. Cortez sends Tommy Vercetti to retrieve the chips from Pierre. The deal, however, is ambushed by the GIGN, another acronym that I'll explain, and Pierre escapes with the guidance chips. Tommy chases Pierre down, kills him, retrieves the chips, and delivers them to Cortez. We get an automatic 2-star wanted level when we kill Pierre Laponce here in this mission. In this next clip, I'm going to use the cheat code A Lovely Day, which will get rid of the rain. Of course, that isn't going to change Pierre's line about the rain being very wet. In the rest of this clip, I'm just going to follow Pierre until we fail the mission. It turns out this is one of the mission-specific NPCs that has a particular destination in mind. He doesn't just bike off randomly. And we will fail once he eventually gets to his destination. And while we're watching this long, very slow chase, I'll continue reading from the wiki about Pierre and the French acronym groups. From the VCBI crime tree record, Pierre Laponce, French Secret Service agent possibly involved in selling military hardware and secrets. And from the trivia section, he is one of the few minor characters in the 3D universe that uses a unique character model instead of a generic pedestrian model. The name Pierre Laponce could be a reference to the French words Pierre Ponce, which means pumice stone, though it is likely a reference to ponce, an outdated British slang term for a posh or effeminate person. So now I'll read from the wiki page about GIGN and DGSE. So what the heck are these acronyms anyway? So from the wiki, the GIGN, that stands for Groupe d'Intervention de la Gendarmerie Nationale. And translated from the French into English, that means the National Gendarmerie Intervention Group. And gendarmerie is the French police force. So it's the National French Police Force Intervention Group. That is GIGN, and that's the group of soldiers who come in to interrupt this deal. The other French acronym here, DGSE, stands for Direction Générale de la Sécurité Extérieure, and that translates to Directorate General of External Security. And Pierre Laponce, the French courier, is an agent of the DGSE. So we have two different forces here. The courier is a part of DGSE, and the soldiers who intervene in this transaction are the GIGN. Both of these groups are real-life groups, not invented for the purposes of Vice City. So reading from Wikipedia about the GIGN, which again is the group of soldiers intervening in this transaction. The GIGN is the elite police tactical unit of the National Gendarmerie of France. Remember, Gendarmerie is just the French police force. Among its missions are counterterrorism, hostage rescue, surveillance of national threats, protection of government officials, critical site protection, such as French embassies in war-torn countries, and targeting organized crime. The only other fail-state for this mission is if the courier ends up in the water, so I'll show you that here while I continue to read about the GIGN from Wikipedia. They were established in 1973 and became operational in 1974. And now reading from Wikipedia about the DGSE, which is the group that the courier is part of. The Directorate General for External Security is France's Foreign Intelligence Agency, equivalent to the British MI6 and the American CIA, established in 1982. The DGSE safeguards French national security through intelligence gathering and conducting paramilitary and counterintelligence operations abroad, as well as economic espionage. Now coming back to the game wiki, both the GIGN and the DGSE are some of the very few non-American law enforcement agencies to appear in the Grand Theft Auto series, along with the MPS and the British Secret Service, both of whom appear in the expansions, the London expansions to the original GTA 1. As you can see, we got a unique message. The guidance chips are at the bottom of the sea, along with the courier and Tommy. In this next attempt, I'll show you what happens when you destroy the PCJ that the courier is expecting to ride. Turns out he is dumbfounded and has no idea what to do. The GIGN and DGSE appear twice in Vice City during Mall Shootout, this mission, and All Hands on Deck, which is the final Cortez mission. So Laponce has fallen off of his bike, which gives me the opportunity to destroy it. We'll go over to him and hear some funny things he has to say.
You eat my dirt, slow, fat American poophead.
Nobody calls me a slow, fat American poophead without paying for it. So you can see he just doesn't fight back. Unsurprisingly, if we kill Laponce before we meet him, before we're officially introduced to him, then we fail the mission. You killed the contact. Whoops. But if you shoot him without killing him before you meet him, then he fights back and he doesn't fool around. It turns out he has 40 rounds of Uzi ammo, and I know that because I picked up his Uzi ammo in another attempt. I didn't show it here, and it added 40 rounds to my ammo number. But I stayed here for a while just letting him shoot at me, and he had way more than 40 rounds of ammo. It sure feels like he has infinite ammo with how long I stood here. Now back to reading from the wiki about the two missions that involve the damn French. The missions, which are given by Colonel Juan Garcia Cortez, relate to Cortez's conflict with French authorities over the illegal purchase of chips, which are property of the French government, presumably to be used for military equipment. The situation escalates to the point where Cortez is forced to flee Vice City to an unknown country. So that's going to happen later on in this game. And we'll actually get a phone call very late in the game after we complete the final mission from Cortez, where he talks about hating the damn French. And it's because of this mission right here, Mall Shootout, and the upcoming mission, All Hands on Deck. During Mall Shootout, GIGN units intervene in a deal between Tommy Vercetti and Pierre Laponce, forcing the dealers to flee from a hail of gunfire from the GIGN. The units can be easily confused with the VCPD SWAT due to similar uniform and voice. In All Hands on Deck, Cortez is forced to flee the city on his yacht after learning that the French are closing in on Cortez. French DGSE agents attempt to block his escape and kill or apprehend Cortez, but their attempts are thwarted by Cortez's crew and Vercetti. During an early cutscene in All Hands on Deck, DGSE agents may be seen arriving at the marina in a special black-colored Washington. And now reading from the trivia section of the wiki, GIGN operators use the same body and armor model as the Cerberus agents and their leader from Manhunt, a different Rockstar game. Okay, so hopefully that clears up some stuff about what the heck is happening in this mission with these two different French groups. So after letting Laponce take several hundred shots at me, I decided enough was enough, and he will stop shooting eventually. You just have to get yourself close enough so that he stops shooting and begins the cutscene. In some GTA missions, you fail for letting the target person get too far away from you. That isn't the case with this mission. I just decided to wait right here at the Washington Mall for a bunch of minutes until eventually we failed because eventually Laponce reached his destination in the far north of this island. Next, I wanted to see what would happen if I destroyed Leponce's motorcycle before he even gets on it. So I just put a car here that's mostly in the way. He could probably get past it, but I just need to slow him down a couple of steps to give me a chance to blow up his bike. So while he's futzing around there with my car, we'll take out our minigun, my favorite weapon in the game. The courier is getting away. I don't think so. He's stuck right here. Okay, so now we got to move my vehicle while we're getting shot up at here by this French group, the G group. And let's see what happens to LaPonce when he gets to his burned out motorcycle. Nothing. He just stops dead in his tracks. I love how he sprinted over here. Oh, this is so sad. He's just standing in the rain now next to his burnt out motorcycle. I almost feel bad for the guy, but I still roundhouse kick him in the face. So now we get to my final attempt at this mission. My challenge is the same one I've used a few times already. I'm going to be very pacifist. I'm not going to hurt the courier. I'm not going to hurt the French military group. I'm not going to hurt any police officers. We're just going to try to pass this mission without me committing any acts of violence. In the meantime, let me read a bit from the wiki about this mission giver. Juan Garcia Cortez is a character who appears as a main character in Vice City, and he is mentioned in Vice City stories. He is a retired colonel from an unknown Central American country, and he is the father of Mercedes Cortez. Juan Cortez was born in Central America. During his time in his home country, he survived 30 coups and 9 death sentences, always managing to survive and get promoted. Cortez has a disliking of the French, accusing them of hypocrisy for stealing from poor nations for centuries, while they are accusing him of thievery. During this time, Cortez married an unnamed woman and they had a daughter, Mercedes, though his wife died sometime prior to 1986. At some point, he became heavily involved in drug trafficking. Cortez moved from his home country to Vice City by 1986, where he mainly lives on a large yacht. Vice City's promotional website reveals that he is officially a cultural attaché, quote, encouraging trade and improving our standing, quote, between their countries, providing him a cover for his drug operations. He tells his countrymen that while he would rather be at his vineyard celebrating with them, quote, it is my curse to live in luxury in the United States, end quote, because he is serving a patriotic duty. He also reveals that aside from his yacht, he has a luxury villa in Vice City that his people pay for. The police have bugged it, which is probably why he lives on his yacht. Also, later saying that the yacht allows him to quickly relocate if he gets in too much trouble. Cortez is allowed leniency with the law because of diplomatic immunity, and he also enjoys eating endangered species, for example, shark or tapir snout, considering it fine living. Cortez first appears in the mission The Party. He is the boss for 5 different missions, and he appears in 4 post-mission phone calls. So yeah, Cortez, pretty important character. So as you saw, I got the GIGN to do my dirty work. They killed poor Pierre Laponce, and then I picked up the chips, and I just cut out an uneventful drive with 2 stars over to this armor refill location, and then I'll cut out the rest of the uneventful drive, heading back over to the pier to end this mission by walking into the pink marker. So that is Mall Shootout done. Hooray! As usual, feel free to leave any memories you have of this mission in the comment section below. I'm also really interested in any ideas that you might have for passing this mission or any previous or future mission in kind of more interesting ways, more surprising ways, unexpected ways. I've used this nonviolent thing a few times. I wish I could come up with more interesting stuff. Hopefully, I will as the missions get more involved as we proceed. But I'm always open to ideas from my viewers. So any ideas you have, throw them in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you real soon.